Okay, let's move on to the fourth and final piece of the presentation, and probably my favorite, the best practices of search engine optimization. This is a huge topic, and obviously I can only cover a small piece of it. So what I want to do is just give you the essentials of search engine optimization here. There's four essential areas we're going to cover here. One is your page title and the description of your website. The second one is your post titles and how you can strategically use keywords when you're creating your content and titling your content. The third strategy or the third essential is to just create really good stuff that people are going to share, because that inherently will get your name out there because people want to share it. People love showing things to their friends that are cool. So if you create something that's cool, they're going to share it. And then the fourth one, and probably the biggest one, in fact, it's 90% of the effort, off-page link popularity. The more sites linking to you, the better you're going to do from a search engine optimization perspective. And I'm going to kind of go into a bit of detail on all four of these points right now. So let's talk about title and description. Best way to do it is with an example. So here I did a Google search for the keyword WordPress Overview, and there's 14 million results. The first result there, you can see the title of that page is blogging with WordPress dash overview blah blah blah. So the title is always the linked text in blue, and then below that is the description in black text. Description is not linked, but it describes the page in further detail. So the key thing to think about here with SEO is that if you want to rank for any particular keyword, you want to make sure that keyword is in both places, the title and the description of the page you're trying to rank. If you're trying to rank the homepage of your website for dog trainer, then the title of your homepage and the description of your homepage should have the word dog trainer in it. With WordPress, this is really easy to do. I've given you a screenshot here of a plugin called the All-in-One SEO plugin, and this plugin makes it super easy with WordPress to simply put your page title and page description in whatever text you need it to be in right here, and there's no programming to do. All you have to do is log into your WordPress dashboard, set it, save it, and then leave it, and then you're up and running with the titles that you want. What's really great about this plugin is that you can also specify title and description for every other page and every other post on your WordPress website. When you start thinking about all the different keywords that could start ranking in Google every time you publish new content, this gets very, very powerful. The second concept here is putting your keywords into your post titles. So the general structure I recommend is pick a big keyword for your home page. So back to dog trainer. If you're a dog trainer, your home page should be the keyword you use to optimize, because that's the big one. That's the one that's going to get a huge volume of traffic. And then you can use keywords in your post titles that are a little bit longer, that you may want to put dog training tips for new dog owners. That's a long keyword, but if you write an article about that, you can capture that traffic. Here is an example of WordPress SEO tips, and I put the first three or four results here, or first three results. If you look at the third one, that's just a blog post on a blog, where the title of the post was 20 practical SEO tips, blah, blah, blah. If you wrote your own blog post where the title was literally WordPress SEO tips and you did a little bit of link building, you could probably rank this keyword. You could rank for this keyword right near the top of Google. So those are the first two ways to look at SEO from a WordPress perspective. The third SEO component or essential that you want to be aware of when you're managing and indexing your site is creating content that sticks. And I said it off the top when I introduced this topic. You want to create stuff as often as possible that is going to be interesting, and that you think once other people see it, they're going to want to share it with their friends because it's just so cool and it's so interesting that they need to share it. Here's an example one that I found a while ago on Acquisium.com. I actually don't know this site that well, but I remember this blog post. And they did a blog post about 10 strange places on Earth with pictures to go along with it, and it described each location and something unique about it. But it was just such a cool blog post that just by default, once they published it, they had over 100 inbound links of other bloggers and other websites linking to it, saying, "Hey, they wanted to tell their audience about this really cool blog post they found." So when I get into the fourth point, which is SEO is all about the number of links coming to your site, there's a great way of getting a whole bunch of links to come back to your website, to point to you. Create good content. The other thing this guy had was over 250,000 page views, 250,000 page views on one blog post because he made it interesting. So you're probably gonna, when you get into studying SEO, There's a lot of different strategies and techniques, and some of them are just about spreading your link as far as possible. I still like the strategy of creating good stuff that people are going to want to come and see, and that's a really powerful SEO strategy in itself. The fourth and probably most important SEO strategy that you're going to need to learn is off-page link popularity. And the way this works is the number of sites that link to you and the quality of those websites will determine how high you rank. And it's done in a certain way. So here is a picture of a screenshot of my website of my friends and links. And you can see here I'm linking to different websites. I just do this on my website to help people out because these are people I want to promote. They're my friends. We look at the specific example here, Shelburne Bootcamp. I don't type in www.kickbootcamp.com. I put in the anchor text, and that's the word here, anchor text, Shelburne Bootcamp, and that word, that anchor text, links to her website. And I did that on purpose for Kelly because I knew she wanted to be #1 on Google for that search phrase, Shelburne Bootcamp, because she runs a boot camp in a town called Shelburne. It's a perfect keyword for her for a localized search. Well, if you look at a live Google search, which I just did today, she is in fact #1 for that search term, and I know how she got there because we did all of her SEO for her. And for her website, it was a very low competitive, low competition term. We only had to put her anchor text on 3 or 4 of our websites, and she was at #1. Now it's not that quite that simple because the sites we're linking from are sites that are a little bit more powerful and ranked highly in Google's eyes. So you can't just buy a brand new website with no history and put up your link and expect that to count as a link back to your website. Um, the quality of the pages linking to you does matter. I want to explain that here on the next slide. This diagram shows you a rough overview of how SEO really works. So if you want to optimize any website, that website itself, you think of it in the middle, and then there's things that attach to that website like blogs or PDFs or documents you want to put on it. And these things can also live in other spots as well. But really the message here is the outer wheel, which is we've got some examples of just some other sites that are out there right now, Twitter, Flickr, Google Video, YouTube, and so on. There are so many different places online that you can go out and publish content and become a member of that community and then link back to your website using that anchor text that we discussed. So if you're trying to rank for dog trainer, then you go create profiles on all these different sites and you make sure that when you link back to your site, the text says dog trainer. And the more sites you have like this and the higher quality the sites, higher quality your profiles on those sites, the better your search engine positioning will be over time. And that summarizes the fourth and final lesson of our presentation.